That episode I was referring to a little ways down the road, which its premise kind of reminds me of that of an old Nick show. It's actually this one, How to Rock a Statue. This one doesn't rely too much on just about anything else, so it actually works pretty well in that way. Here's how it works out. The Xander wants to impress this girl who's into art, so he enters into an art contest. Casey persuades him to. Oh, the winner of the art contest, their work will be displayed in the cafeteria for all to see. So, Casey, wanting to once again outshine Molly on something, persuades Xander to sculpt a statue of her, which can then, once he wins, look upon the cafeteria. So it'd be a win-win in that sense. But she's picky about the way he does it. At the same time, he's picky about the way he does it, and does not want her opposing the way he does it in any way or trying to correct him. So then, when she gets the opportunity, she attempts to correct something on the statue that she doesn't think is right about her, and she ends up destroying it instead. To compensate, she dresses herself up as the statue to present to everybody, and it actually works surprisingly well. You wouldn't think it. You didn't. I wouldn't. You wouldn't think it did, but it actually does. And the comedy that kind of comes from it is pretty funny. Specifically, the scene where March, the history teacher, sneezes, or like she sneezes, and then he says "bless you" in response, even though he doesn't see anyone anywhere in that exact moment. And then Molly and Grace bad-mouthing the statue, and her reactions to them behind her giving her reactions while they have their backs turned. That's pretty funny as well. And maybe, like a lot of those old Nick shows, a lot of those old Nick episodes, it relies heavily on just simply the concept itself. And while it doesn't, well, it does actually bring us into it halfway through rather than at the point of, like, earlier in the episode before the splitting point. It actually works. It actually still does well enough to still maintain interest and to still keep us connected in what's going on. And that works as well. So it's I admire this episode for that, and the way that, and then the comedy timing as well when she reveals that she's been the statue most of the time. That's pretty well, like, set up well. Designed. That little scene as well. The subplot's not too bad either. Subplot involves Nelson and Kevin think Stevie's project is totally stupid. The idea to have these two, to test out these two hamsters and how smart they are, because they think the hamsters are total idiots. However, she comes up with a new idea. Test on how on the reactions of, are Nelson and Kevin smarter than their hamsters? You wouldn't think that that'd work. And it didn't miss at times, specifically because a lot of it revolves around Nelson and Kevin's humor. But it actually works pretty well. And the way that she actually, I was kind of annoyed with this at first, the first time I saw it. The way she messes with them when they think they have the right answer, and they end up choosing the wrong answer. That's That's actually pretty funny, come to think of it. Their reasoning as to like why they think it's the wrong button, that the one that just gave them the shock rather than the one that'll actually open up and give them the food. Those aren't all that well set up in plans. So don't fully admire those. Other than that, this really seemed like a pretty old school episode, and that I'm just very happy with the way that it turned out. And I wasn't hugely receptive to it the first time, but then it really did grow on me in future viewings. And actually, it's probably one of those few episodes where Casey's reactions are actually welcomed rather than unwelcomed. So anything else I want to say? I think for the most part I've said everything I wanted to say on this episode. So I guess I will catch you guys in the next one.